Speaking of numbers, so here's the thing, right? When you look at volume 1, it's like literally just like a tiny little hole. And you have to think, like, when you see that, I'm like, what the fuck kind of shit is that? Like, I'm not gonna stick my dick in that. Then you see volume 2, you're like, see, that's when it's nice. That's when it's ready to go. And why is it like it changes? It's like they have like that's not even, they say like it changes over time. That is literally 6 different vaginas that they just put in there, like entirely different ones.
Excuse you, volume 6 is a fucking Arby's sandwich.
You cannot tell me that this is like quote unquote evolution. This is not evolution. This is literally just they got. Wait, actually, hold on. How did they model the first one?
I want to die.
How did they?
Welcome to the Weeb Club.
3, 2, 1.
今夜もミュージック君へのラッキー笑い合って抱き合って幸せにほらなれるように
I've only officially become a member now. I want to die. That's why.
That's now you're. You know what, Craftsdwarf? If you want to die, you should just kill yourself. People who want to die should just die.
Yeah, unlike me, Craftsdwarf, who is a native English speaker, male, standard accent, supports mainstream political parties, employed,
standard accent,
cis, white, no criminal record, adults, first world, thin, attractive, human, born in the country of residence, well-connected family, no speech impediment, heterosexual,
oh my
tall,
god,
wealthy, not a redhead, baptized Christian, able-bodied, mentally healthy, intelligent, and educated. Suck
You know what my biggest
dick.
issue with that entire one is, honestly? Or the only one of those I believe, I'm sorry.
Which one?
Is,
Abla-bodied? What? What did you
Well,
say?
first
No,
of
I
all,
don't believe that. I don't believe that. I saw that.
Well, I was just
motherfucker.
wondering what the fuck you
No,
said.
yeah, it's
'cause it wasn't
able-bodied, not
able-bodied.
able-bodied. Fucking retard.
Well, what's not
But,
able-minded, apparently?
The only one of these I
really not.
believe, not counting, even counting human. I don't even believe that. The only one of those I believe for him is the well-connected family.
Yeah, I believe, and also wealthy and white.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the Weeb Club.
God, when are we just gonna name it the fucking making fun of Rico Fag Club? My tongue.
You said his name, not me. It wasn't me who
We
did
all-
it.
We all know who we're fucking talking about.
We just
Anyway.
recorded this after episode 10 of the seasonals, and I don't know if I have energy for this shit.
I'm
Like-
losing my mind. I have not slept. I'm dying.
In the break we took before recording, I took a solid 5 shots, so I think I'm good to go. I needed it because I was gonna die if I didn't. What was gonna fucking kill me? I literally would have killed myself mid-episode. I had to. I'm sorry.
Anyway, we're talking about Lyra Game this episode. Next time, we're talking about Ichigo 100%, the Shonen Jump manga, right?
Yes.
I know nothing about it.
PewDiePie's favorite manga.
Whose?
Does it have Ichigo from
PewDiePie.
Aikatsu in it?
No, it doesn't, which is
No.
probably why it sucks. I mean,
It also doesn't have Ichigo from Bleach, which is very tragic.
very
We just
sad.
need...
I wish it was just 100 different Ichigos, right? It was
Right.
Ichigo from Aikatsu,
Dude, that'd be
Ichigo
fucking
from
Kino.
Bleach,
that'd be
and then
fucking
you see
great.
them fuck. You know what I mean? That's what it should have been.
That'd be so fucking hot. Holy shit. Could you imagine Ichigo from Bleach fucking Ichigo from Aikatsu? Holy shit.
That'd be Aikatsu.
Bankai.
All right.
I'm
God.
losing
Why do
my
I
mind.
even try with these people?
I think this is my least favorite thing.
Ever?
I've
Or just in the
seen,
Weeb
no,
Club?
that I've seen or read for the Weeb Club.
Okay, I was about to say, if it's period, holy shit, that you're actually
No,
stupid.
I don't
but,
think it's worse than
if it's
Kimi
for-
Uramachi, but because
Or
at least
what
with
about
Anohana?
Anohana? Well, because
I was about to say, at least with Anohana, I had some major problems with Anohana, and I do
Anohana's
not
funny,
like
though.
Anohana. But at least that's what I'm getting to. What? At least Anohana had a man running through the forest dressed like his dead lolly ghost waifu, right? At least Anohana had that. This manga's I like. The other night I was talking to someone about it, and I was like halfway through, and I started off thinking it's like, yeah, it's a 7, but the more I started talking about some of my issues with it, the less and less I like it. The more I think about it.
Well, put it bluntly, if you like Liar Game, you probably look like this.
If you like Liar Game, you probably
That is literally the virgin walk. That is literally just the virgin walk.
No. If you like Liar Game, right, you're probably someone who would say something along the lines of, honestly, I wish people would stop talking endlessly about Star Wars. Everyone's too incompetent to talk about the franchise. And then make like a 20-tweet thread about how it's good because it's intentionally bad.
Rikafek actually does like Liar Game better than Kaiji, or at least he said a point in that regards. And like,
I know why he does, because I'm gonna talk about it later.
Can I really quickly just explain my biggest issue with the
let me because
we have to get it out in the air.
Well, first I want to, because Vindy, this is your first time reading it, correct?
Yeah.
What, you've read it before, right?
Yes.
How long ago, actually?
Like 3 years ago.
Okay.
I remember liking it more, but then hating the ending, which is something that has not changed, at least the second part.
Yeah. Well, see, with me, because I thought the ending was baffling when I first finished it, when it literally, like, the chapter was finally translated. And then rereading it, like, the more I think about the ending, the stupider it gets, for sure.
Well, it gets stupid because it's intentional.
We'll talk about it. With me, Liar Game, I probably would have said this was one of my favorite manga when I was reading it in high school. I liked it a lot. And I think I still have some sentimental value to it. Like, there's still aspects to it I like. Like, Vindy, you said some things off, discussion that, I get. We'll talk about that later when we get to that. But, like, I overall I still like it, even if there's like there's definitely stupid shit. Like I understand. I don't know. I'm curious as to what, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll like it less over the course of the discussion. I don't know.
Oh, you will definitely.
I think you might. Like I think I have some like good points that I think.
Like, in case you want to know, like I literally have written a fan fiction on Liar Game, specifically because Sellies and Danganronpa, Vindy, the gambler one. Or the liar.
I forgot that we were in a club with a fan fiction writer.
Yeah, no, because in one of her free time events, she actually like references Liar Game more directly, and I made a crossover fan fiction inspired by that, where I literally came up with a Liar Game / Fukumoto in style game. I had a deck of cards, and I wrote out a whole thing, and I don't know. So like I have some attachment toward Liar Game, basically. So I guess spoilery. Yeah, let's talk about it.
I think one of the first things, because we've already done it like 4 times, we should get out of the way, because I know that people would be upset, because for some reason people in the anime community have this like idea that you can't compare things, like, oh well, these things aren't exactly the same, so you can't compare them, right? Like, you can compare this manga to this manga. Look, this manga is trying so hard to be Kaiji or just any Fukumoto manga that it deserves to be compared to them. Also, considering they're both manga with similar kind of ideas and setups, they should be fucking compared. Because
I think it depends, because
here's the thing: when people say you can't compare things, like, I'm the one who says that. You should compare.
I also say the same thing.
But, right. I think the reason why I say that is because most people who compare things are stupid and will compare two things that are like not the same. Like, for example, I say, do not compare The Idolmaster to Love Live, because structurally and just thematically they are not the same thing.
I think that I don't want to get into too long of an argument about this.
No, but just listen. However, if they are extremely similar to the point that it's so fucking obvious that one is trying to be like the other, like, say, for example, Review Starlight and Shoujo Kakume Utena. Of course I'm gonna compare them, because obviously one of them is trying to be like the other one, and it's really obvious which one it is. So in this case, Vindy can go ahead and go off and compare Liar Game and Kaiji.
So, well, kind of like how I'd put it is like, like, when was Kaiji? When did it start?
I can look. I think maybe like the fucking
Yeah, okay, the manga started in 1996, so that was also the same year as Yu-Gi-Oh! And both those series started having, like, the gambling, like, the various games kind of thing. So, like, I'm not...
My issue with... and I'm even getting into this. I think instead of just Kaiji, right, I think it's more applicable to compare Liar Game to all Fukumoto works, so including Ten and Akagi, because those had obviously already been around and been popular by the time Kaiji happened. And I think... Like, in my head, reading Liar Game, it reminded me more of Akagi than it did Kaiji, actually.
I would have said Death Note, but that's also because, like, I was probably
also
watching
got
the anime.
major Death Note vibes as well.
Well, like, what I would say is regarding the comparison is I would say, like, the major point of difference I see between, like, Liar Game and particularly Kaiji is the one I'm thinking of in regards to, like, what they're doing thematically is I think, like, the major point of difference in, like, how they're exploring using the games to sort of explore the point is also why Liar Game kind of, like, falls flat on its face, even though, like, okay, I like Akiyama. Yokoi is hilarious.
I don't fucking like it anymore.
Well, okay, fuck you.
But sorry,
no,
okay.
spit. What?
I like some of the games. Like, I did hear your complaint for, I think it was a Contraband game in particular, and I totally get it. And, like, so, you know, I like, you know, there's the ending is really stupid, and I think, like, I kind of like what the series is trying to do up to a point, but, like, completely how it executed it, and even just, like, the core, like, message it has is very misguided, and which makes it even stupider, honestly. Like, I don't know.
Well,
and it really makes sense that a certain someone likes this one better.
Really quickly, I want to get back for just a quick second. I want to go back to something you said. I think that thinking you can compare things only off of thematic elements is wrong.
Well, I never said only.
No. But, like, okay, so your point that Love Live and Idolmaster can't be compared because structurally and thematically they're different, I think is wrong for the sense that there's ways to compare things outside of themes and structure, right?
Well,
so
this is what I'm thinking in response to that, because, like, if there are differences beyond themes and structure, like, what are those differences in service of regards to the themes and structure? Like, you talked about how, like, the character designs and stuff of Cinderella Girls is more like, you know, corporate and soulless and hollow, but that's kind of also feeds into the thematic point. So you can say, like, yeah, it's worse because of this reason, but it feeds into this this actual thematic reason. So it's like, you know,
so here's my problem with that, Craftsdwarf. I know that all you see are themes, but there's much more to that. So for example, right, Kaiji and Liar Game are or Akagi and Liar Game are very different thematically, right? Like, they're not trying to make the same point. But when you look at for me, the comparison, the only way it should be made is for the games themselves and the plans made to get out of those games, because that's where they're similar, right? So when you compare things, you compare where they're similar, right? So, like, for example, I think it's fine to compare the music in Love Live and the music in Idolmaster, right? Because they're both idol shows and they both have idol music. Well, so if you want to make that as your comparison, I think that's fine.
Well, again, Vindy,
I think the problem is comparing the works as a whole, right? You have to take individual pieces.
It's like what I said is, if most people, when they do comparisons, is that they'll start comparing two things and they'll try to, like, say one is worse for not being the other one. Like,
right.
Like, there's
so again, that's not an issue with comparisons, and, like, that's what I'm trying to get at is I don't think inherently saying these two things can't be compared, I think that's wrong, right? Like, that's like an oversimplification to make your point, but I think it's the wrong way to look at it, is like what I'm trying to get at.
Well, again, like, you can of course compare music to music. What I'm saying is you shouldn't compare two things that are different if one of them isn't trying to be like the other one, right? Like, it's like, you can't criticize Love Live for not being motherfucking Perfect Blue. That's a stupid comparison to make just because both of them have idols in it, right? That's
right,
what I'm
and I agree with that. But, like, I think, again, like, I'm just trying to get it out of the way so we don't have a bunch of comments like this.
Well, I think it's very much on a case-by-case basis. Like, if you make a comparison, and I think, well, Liar Game's trying to do this. Like, even if I don't like what Liar Game's trying to do, like, even if I think, like, there's one specific comparison you made in regards to Death Note and the plan with L and stuff, where it's, like, and how that compares to, like, the actual game, some of the actual games in Liar Game, and it's, like, I see where you're coming from, but considering this other thing that's a spoiler, like, it works better in regards to Liar Game's verisimilitude, even though it's still stupid, but, like, it's there.
Right, but
something
again,
we'll
like
get into later.
I think that like
Basically, it's nuanced.
I think-
You have to be nuanced when you have
Right.
to do things.
Right,
and that's what I'm trying to get at is that like just don't respond with like
You can't compare.
oh, you can't compare Liar Game and Kaiji.
Yeah, no,
because
I know.
they're-
It's like I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna try and like, well, Liar Game is trying to do this, and Kaiji
Right,
is
right.
doing this. And even
I'm
if I
mainly-
like Kaiji, and I do like Kaiji, like even though like I haven't like I had Kaiji on my 3x3 for the anime, and Kaiji is very likely to be somewhere on one of my 3x3s, but I have to rewatch it and reread it. Liar Game, like I said, I have sentimental value for it. I have it an 8 right now. Even though there's a lot of it that I think is stupid, and thinking about it, like, yeah, that's stupid. But again, it's
right.
it's,
So I'm not mainly talking about y'all because I know y'all are smart
Right.
and have brains and understand nuance. I'm trying to say this before we get comments saying it.
Okay, gotcha. See, I wasn't thinking about that. I'm thinking you're directing it at us. So.
No. I'm mainly trying to say this,
Especially
so we
because,
don't-
like, I'm on the defensive here because you guys, like, I don't know what scores you gave it. It sounds like Vindy, it's probably in, like, the 3 range
it's
at best.
it is the only manga I have scored on AniList, and it is a 3.
Okay. That's, 2 was another option. And what probably has it, like, maybe at a 4 or
Well,
5 at absolute highest.
My original score that I
Was
had it
7.
at was a 7 out of 10. As I was reading it originally, back when I read it in high school, I had it at an 8. So
Okay, and then the ending happened and you gave it a 7?
Yeah.
And then now you had it at a 7, and I remember you said you were like, oh, I remember why I liked it, and then you got
something
to the
happened.
ending.
We'll talk about something that happened.
Well, I think that, like, oh my god, okay. I just want to say this really like before we even get to the ending, which is we can all agree is garbage.
Dog shit.
I think my biggest, well, outside of the fact that I don't care about the characters at all, I think my biggest issue with Liar Game is that the games feel constructed backwards. So I'm gonna make the Fukumoto comparison here. So like in any Fukumoto manga, right? So I think that like Akiyama feels a lot like Akagi to me, right? So
Okay.
that's why I said I got similar vibes from the two of them because they're both, the same kind of like you never really fear that like his plan isn't gonna work. Same way like you don't really ever think Akagi's gonna lose because he's motherfucking Akagi. Like he's the fucking, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like when you read a Fukumoto manga, right, and it has like this game constructed, it feels really, really tight. And like because the game is constructed so tight, I actually buy that. Not like Volume 1. What? Shut up. And so because of that, like when
I love how you just like heard what like get that like we're recording in like 2 different states and like you just heard that like breath and you just knew and it's like
yeah, because I on like a primal level, I get what, but I'm trying to make a point, so shut the fuck up. What? You're stupid. But like, like okay, so for example, I'm not gonna say exactly what happens, but the end of Kaiji Part 3, right? Or the Last Gamble in Part 2. Both of those, I buy that the character is smart, right? They're looking at the rules of the game, and it feels like the game was constructed, and then Fukumoto looked at the game and was like, how can I have my characters think their way out of this predicament, right? When I look at Liar Game, especially for the I think the Contraband game is when I finally really realized it, but it feels like the games are created backwards. It feels like he starts with how they're going to get out of the situation and then creates the situation around it. So it's like there are these really, really complicated games with really vague rules, so it's really easy to binge your way around them. And it just like, I don't buy, like, the fact that they win, well, I'm not to get into spoilers, but like, it just feels like the games are constructed backwards, I don't buy any of it.
I think I agree with you on like the main games, but I think like my favorite game is the Pandemic game. And I don't think never felt like that one had that issue. And I'm like thinking back, like it's so simple. Like I don't think it needed that basically. But we'll talk about the games in specific later.
I agree that some of the games that are more simple are better about that, but with every complicated game.
Well, they even have a line for it where it's like one of the dealers will say, Akiyama thought this far in ahead or something, or he had it all, like, they have a fucking line for that.
And it just feels so stupid. Like, it doesn't feel like they're winning because they're smart. It felt to me like they were winning because the plot decided they were gonna win. And I know that technically... Right, but like, and I know technically that like, every piece of media, someone wins because the plot decides that. But... there's like,
it's definitely
the suspension
written.
of
It's
disbelief.
like it's closer. I wouldn't say it's like full on. Like, do you know it was like a 4chan post comparing how like No Country for Old Men writes a smart
to
character
Sherlock.
versus
it felt more like Sherlock to me than No Country
yeah,
for
it's
Old
not
Men.
that extreme, obviously, but it is definitely closer to that. Especially for those more over the top ones. Like, I would say, like, reading it does like it is kind of organic, but also like it requires you to like I think the worst one, at least when I started reading it before I was starting to get into it, is in the second game. But we'll get into that when we get to spoilers, just because
right.
But to talk about more general things, I guess because I think we're just like waiting to get the spoilers. So the art is kind of like apparently it was worse than One Out. What? I changed subjects. What's
No, you reminded me the funniest part of the manga, my favorite part of the manga. But finish
is it
your
a
complaint
positive?
about the art.
Is it a positive thing or is it a negative thing?
It's a negative thing.
Okay.
Finish your part about the art,
God,
and then
your
I'll say
fucking
it.
laugh was like a mouse squeak. You fucking weirdo.
Look, what? I wonder if
Well,
you noticed this.
He
'cause-
Sid the Rat. He Sid the Rat's human
shut
Sona.
the fuck up.
I know,
Fucking
he
make your
is.
point. Make your fucking point.
I just said, yeah, the art is What were you gonna say?
Look, now's tit size changes drastically at 3 points in the manga. They start pretty small. Around the halfway point, he's drawing them like fucking bowling balls. Did you guys notice this?
Yes.
And then like
definitely
towards the
noticed.
end, they got to like a medium size that he was happy
listen,
with. But it was like they
everyone-
started small, then they got fucking massive for
It
no
wasn't
reason
just
out of
her,
nowhere.
Vindy. Every single female had huge ass tits. I was
You're right,
gonna make the
but-
funny One Piece meme that everybody does, but I was like, whatever.
But then did you notice how at the end they were massively scaled back?
Yeah, so I
That
could
I don't
hold them
remember.
with my hands better. What?
Like,
Oh God.
They went through this like curve of like literally a curve of small tits to massive tits to medium tits.
homie.
Oh yeah,
It was-
actually, Vindy. One thing. Sorry, go on. I'm. breaking
It was my favorite part of the manga because like every time I saw Now, her tits were different. I got like 100 different characters in one.
I was gonna say, regarding like the rules and stuff, like, I will say like it was a fan translation. I don't know how accurate it is. Like, we'll talk about spoilers, but I don't know. I kind of gave my thoughts on the characters overall, or at least the ones that matter.
So
The art is oof a little bit. It's not. I'm sure One Outs is worse because it's by the same manga author. And it's older. So, what were you gonna say? What?
for most of the explanations of the games, because I had already read it, I just basically like skimmed over it. And
I
here-
also kind of I
Liar
was
Game
definitely
is a
skimming.
very quick read, everybody, because the rules do not fucking matter. None of them
They
fucking
kinda-
matter.
yeah.
No, they kind of
Because they're
do
not
if
real.
you give a shit. But I don't give a shit because I know the point of every single thing. Every single game that is in this manga.
This is the most we live in a society thing we've touched on the Weeb Club.
Ooh,
Absolutely.
okay. When spoilers come, I'm gonna show you the panel that made me lose my fucking mind. I'm so mad.
I got a pretty good panel as well, but I mean, no, I agree with you. I don't think the rules matter because like
Yeah, the
the
ideas
rules are
do, but
created
those
to
are-
give the
yeah.
loophole.
It was
Right.
Like that's
listen.
the only reason the rules exist is so that there
yes.
can be a loophole that they exploit.
And there's
No,
like
no, no,
I
no,
think
no,
there's
no.
a reason why it's like that. But anyway, go on.
This game, every single fucking game is just a contraband game. Conflicts between two countries smuggling things. I'm like, oh, it's like real life. Oh,
That was the biggest part I skipped is like, and I didn't skip it, but I started skimming, like rolling my eyes, was any time they started saying that the game, or even at the end when they tried to, but like any time they were like, it's like real life, I was just like, shut the fuck
There's
up,
a bunch of
dude.
games where they were like that. It's like, this game's learning how to trust.
It's like I would have watched them play poker because like that's what he almost.
Look, listen.
Poker is an inherently interesting game. Poker is cool. There's mind games in it. You don't have to make these complicated games to have good mind games going on. If you're a good writer, you can just make really simple games and have cool things happen in a simple game.
I don't even know if this is. Can I just say what one of the games is real quick? Can I just say one of them? Because every single game is literally just existing childish game, but now with wild twists, like musical
Like
chairs.
musical chairs, yeah.
But what if it was on an island and then they had trackers on them, and you
had to
vote
make
what chairs go out?
nations.
But what about the music? Fuck the music. This is about conquest. This is about countries at war.
And I think the problem with the complicated games only gets worse as it goes. Because, like, I would agree that most of those, like, what are they called? Revival rounds are at the start pretty good. Because they're, like, especially, like, yeah, like, I would agree about the infection one, right? It's not too complicated. The way they win feels, like, natural and feels like something that I understand, like, is them breaking the system.
That's a game that feels like it's, you know, it's more like...
Right. And
well,
those
Akiyama's,
rules
he tries
feel
one
like
trick
actual...
and it doesn't work, right? And then they keep trying. It's not like he had some master plan from the very beginning and it wins.
God, you just reminded me of another issue. But like, yeah, and so like, I think that only gets worse.
The greatest meme of all time is literally just, this is actually going according to Akiyama's plan. This is actually going according to Yokoya's plan.
It, like, when somebody's plan fails, I don't want to find out that that's actually was their plan the whole time. That just takes anything away from their plans failing.
That's
and like,
it's I was pretending to be retarded.
Right. It is interesting to watch somebody's plan fail and they have to keep trying the rules in different ways. But every time it was like, oh man, like Yokoya's fucking, like, you know, Akiyama's playing 3D chess. Fucking Yokoya figured out now he's on 40. Oh my god, Akiyama was on 5D the whole time? Wait, Yokoya's expecting this and is now on 60? And it turns out that he's actually on fucking 800 fucking dimensional chess, but like, they try to string you along, and like, he's on 800 dimensional chess the whole time. But they pretend like he's only on 3D chess. They pretend like he's only on 4D chess, and he's way fucking past it. So by the end, you know it's fucking coming, and it's still just like pulling your leg and acting like you're not fucking expecting it, when I fucking know it's coming.
Vinny, every time one of those motherfuckers said this is the part of someone's plan, I was like, suck my dick, that isn't fucking bullshit. And then this is where
we're gonna get to it. I'm so mad.
There's one point, and I'll talk about in spoilers more, but there's one point where one of the characters goes, this person makes Yokoya and Akiyama look stupid by comparison. I was like, you are
he cut out it,
you are lying to me. Like this fucking title of the manga. That is bullshit. I do not believe it for a second.
Guys,
out the real
it's all
was the manga all along.
I was about to say that. It's a deep meta narrative.
Look, I think the worst part, honestly, when I think about it, is the fact that fucking Akiyama is so good at this because he majored in criminal psychology in college. So now he's able
That's
to
not even the half of it, dude, but that's spoilers.
But like, now he's on these like 8th level mind games because he fucking majored in psychology. Like, I was talking to a friend about it. That's like if someone majors in pre-med and is like, I could fucking do any surgery and save any life I want.
He's fucking blackjack, yeah.
Wait. You think
it's like just because it's like when an anime-tuber is like, I majored in film, so I know everything about anime, and they're saying stupid shit, but like their defense is like, I majored in film, so I know everything. It's like, no,
Shigaraki is a revolutionary villain because he has character development. I studied in film.
I honestly think that Akiyama, the reason why he's so smart is that he played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and he figured out Kreia's philosophy.
You're right. But
see, that makes sense. He's also tall, thin, attractive, educated, standard accent.
He also was a native English speaker.
Mm-hmm. Correct. I agree.
Just like some other people we know. Okay.
Look, how does it happen? I'm so confused as to how this happens every time we record. Every time. I'm so angry.
No. Look, like, okay. So he is the perfect example of a lol cow who's just not big enough to have a Kiwi Farms forum, like a dedicated, thread on Kiwi Farms. Like, he's literally fucking like Chris Chan, and he just gives a shit all the time because he's so fucking stupid and doesn't realize it.
No, maybe he's just pretending to be retarded like Akiyama every time his plan fucking fails.
Yeah. He's actually on 800th dimensional chess all along and only acting like he's on fucking 1.5.
Let's get into spoilers so we can actually finally talk properly. Okay, yeah, spoilers.
Now I'm putting the title of the spoilers. You can go to this time code and there is no opening. I can't play an opening for this. I'm just gonna have to find out where the stage play is. Okay, whatever. Okay, where's that panel? I'm gonna show you that panel right fucking now because it made me so fucking angry. I'm so mad.
While you look for the panel, I'm gonna talk. So the contraband game, the ending of it. Oh wait, okay.
Slave morality.
If you probe,
master morality.
They belong to either. God, that was the dumbest thing. But okay, so I don't know if you felt like this, but the Contraband game is the dumbest thing I've ever fucking read in my life.
Okay, here's my thoughts on the Contraband game. I like the character stuff that happens at the very end, but I've read it like 3 times over the course of 10 years, and I still don't understand how it literally goes from we're winning to wait, no, we're losing, and like, what the fuck?
It literally is, they bring the guy to their side, right? They bring fucking Headband guy to their side, right? And they're like, oh, we're fucking, we're being a secret agent. And it's like, oh, they double-crossed fucking main boys, and now they're playing the other side. And it's like, oh, turns out they were triple-crossing the whole time because he talked to one guy earlier and it wasn't shown on screen, so we didn't know. And it's like, holy shit, like, you're just making up a way for you to win. And, like, I get everything in fiction is made up, but, like, you should make it fucking believable within the world, and it should feel like these characters are actually fucking doing it. As
yeah, a lot of the internal thoughts.
Then it's like when you take, right, like, okay, so,
well, like, to add on to that real quick is like the internal thoughts, like at times definitely don't match what the characters should actually know, but at the same time, like, it wasn't like the explanation was the hand recorders, like that makes sense, even if, but the issue is like it doesn't really match with the other stuff.
Well, no, I understand the hand recorders, and my issue isn't that like I don't think it's like my problem is that like. It just feels like they took the game, right? And it's like, it feels like a fan fiction of its own manga, where at the end of it, right? Like, they lose, right? And then the author just goes in and scratches out the part where it says they lose and just wrote, and then they won.
It's basically, are you watching Rick and Morty this season?
No, I've never seen Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Wow. Oh my god. Of course, you're the only one in the Weeb Club who's watched Rick and Morty.
Look, there's an episode in the recent season that's perfect because it's a parody of heist movies, and like the joke is that it's basically like the Contraband game, except it actually goes to 80th dimensional chess, like unironically. Like it's a double cross after double cross after double cross, like yeah.
Look, I love the fuck out of heist movies because sometimes when you watch a heist movie like fucking Ocean's 11 or some shit, that shit's like. You can tell when there are things hidden in there in plain sight where it's like, yeah, that's from cooking cool shit. This is like Liar Games, like, so like how people meme that like, aha, JoJo Part 2 is literally just them going, haha, well, I knew that you know that I knew that you know that I knew that I was gonna do that.
That's what this is.
No, but JoJo Part 2 does it as a joke.
Right, it's funny when he does it because that's his character. He's a fucking prankster. Akiyama's not a prankster.
He's like Agami Repaint.
Look, I feel like the entire fucking manga, especially the Contraband game and everything fucking after that, is just all it fucking is the fucking meme picture where he goes, all according to Keikaku, and fucking it goes, Keikaku means plan, and that's all it is.
Here's what I mean when you say like that's not even half of it, is because the whole series, as we find out the end, was all planned by a guy, like again, a writer who knew psychology and wrote Liar Game and was so good at psychology and his characters were so realistic that they were able to replicate the events of the book to find out what happened in the last volume that didn't happen because the author was killed because we live in a society by finding real people who match his characters and have them play the Liar Game twice. And then because psychology, it makes you God in this world. This is why Akiyama is a God tier genius, because it fits the verisimilitude, Vindy. You can't complain about it.
The part that I like, the only thing that I like is that Kanzaki now, her being there, adds something to the thing, right? Because it's like the only reason
she is a good girl.
Because the only reason why Akiyama is able to succeed is because of the straightforward honesty of Kanzaki now, right?
Well, like I also like how like she gradually, she lies more and doubts more, like she grows throughout the games, and that's good, and she's good.
I mean, the real best part of the manga is the line that, like, to learn to actually trust people, you need to doubt them and learn about them.
That is like this manga.
Is this a shonen pretending to be a seinen?
What a surprise that I like the shonen part the best.
Well, of course,
this series is like. Part. I feel like the best way to experience Liar Game, it's kind of like how you've talked about like Eva and Tatame Galaxy, where it's like it's best when you're a teenager and this shit is gonna be like, whoa, cool, because like I didn't care, like I get your feelings, like Akiyama is playing 8-dimensional chess, and like I did it like I just explained, it makes sense in the rules of the universe, as stupid as it is, but like I read it when I was a teenager. I still think it's kind of fun.
When you are 13 years old, this shit will blow your mind.
Exactly.
You'll read this and be like, holy shit, we do live in a society.
Read Liar Game and Death Note when you're 13 and it'll be the best fucking shit ever. And then when you grow up, read Kaiji because it actually is better and makes sense. And
most things are better than Death Note.
Well, because I think I want to touch on the Death Note comparison because I think it's perfect because like
they both suck.
But like Death Note, I can pinpoint when it gets bad. Okay, I think it's like around episode 11. Everything in Death Note up through when fucking when L should have won. When he fucking has Mika's cell phone and like goes to call Mika and he fucking turns around and L's there holding it because he fucking outsmarted him. That is when it stops being good, right? That is the Fukumoto part of fucking Death Note, where it's written by fucking people who aren't making, who like, they start with the idea and they write it as it goes, right? Or not.
But then the series has to continue. So basically, it's the first 11 episodes are Fukumoto, and then he has to become Kaitani, basically.
Right.
Then it becomes Liar Game, because then it's like, oh, I lost my memories, and everything that happened that was like these cool character moments is this all of a sudden? It's just like it was all part of my fucking plan. No, it fucking wasn't. You couldn't plan all that.
Look! Listen. The entire part of Death Note when he loses.
Well, no. The reason it doesn't work in Death Note, but it's fine in Liar Game, is because in Death Note he was still in high school, but Akiyama had he majored in psychology.
God damn it,
You're right.
Right. Holy shit! Ah! I'm kidding. That's still bullshit. But listen. When Death Note, that made me so mad when they was like he lost his memories and he was like a funny little. Is this wrong? Justice. And he touches a little fucking page, but the Death Note is all of a sudden his evil fucking light again.
And that's also stupid because
I knew that I would be in car, and right now, name in a car. I'm like,
because I did think about the comparison, and like I guess where I would say it's a little different with Akiyama is that like with Light, he's predicting like real life and real people somehow, and like himself without the Death Note so perfectly. With Akiyama, at least it takes place in a game, so it kind of makes sense that it's a game. He can see how
he's only predicting like the rules of the game at least.
Right.
Even
so it's still over the top, but it's not like according to Keikaku over the top. It's not that ridiculous. Like so it's still written in the it's still because it's still written in the same way, like you said. So it's like if they both bother you, that's fine. But like I did think about it and like okay, so let's talk about the ending a bit, because I do want to go back and talk about all the games. Do we want
to talk? So I actually want to. Do we want to talk about the ending now, or do we want to go through the games like almost in a chronological order to get
talk? Because
I think that
okay. Well, part of it me is like I want us to go through, but also it's like if we have the ending in context, like maybe that'll make, because there's one thing about the way the games are in comparison to Kaiji that makes sense for the ending, even though the ending is really fucking stupid, and the way the ending is stupid and how it's different from Kaiji is also where like Kaitani is like could have been kind of smart but is actually just a fuckhead. Because like let's just talk about the ending first.
Okay, we can talk about the ending.
So like I already told you mentioned the fucking like a psychologist book writer was too smart for society and society had to have him killed, and Liar Game is just a replication of society to replicate the book to replicate society to find out how we have to live in a society.
I love society.
Well, so when do you think like this ending, like, because like I didn't like most of it, but when do you think like the shitty ending thing starts? Because I think it starts from the fucking second that this last game starts. Like,
oh yeah, the game.
Once
that
they
game
get
sucks. That game fucking sucks.
Once they get it, like I actually like the because it was getting close to the ending, and I liked the auction part, and I thought it was gonna end at the auction, and I thought that would have been the best fucking way to end it. But instead, they had to go to this shitty fucking game that's fucking terrible, and
lasers.
Everybody loses. But then they won, and they beat the Liar Game Corporation because he's so fucking smart that he knew all along that that's what was gonna happen. It was gonna be this weird fucking stalemate that's like a 1 in a fucking million chance in this shitty fucking game. God.
Like they were trying to like introduce some people, right? Here's the thing that really bothers me about Liar Game is that like, you know how people do the meme of like shonen anime where it's like all the characters on the side are like, wow, you think he's gonna do that? Oh wow, like being surprised at everything, right? 90% of Liar Game's pages are dedicated to those motherfuckers in the mask talking about how cool all the characters are. and it makes me dislike what's happening more.
It's framed so terribly too, because we'll see someone do something and then it'll spend like 30 pages of just people in masks explaining what they did.
And then they're watching videos of it too. They're like, how did I miss that? Motherfucker, how did you? You're all watching the screens.
It would have been way more tense.
I mean, I can there's a bunch
start
of
to collude, and then it gets to the point where they do stuff. But instead, but the reason they can't show the plans as they're happening is because they're so fucking insane that if you saw the plan as it was happening, it would break the illusion because you would know exactly who's gonna fucking win, and there wouldn't be this constant escalation of it.
Yeah, and well, like I said, I think this is mostly like there's definitely a division between like the climactic actual rounds and then the revival rounds, because like the revival rounds are fine, like
except for the bid poker.
Which one?
Bid poker is fucking terrible.
Bid poker was yeah.
It's kind of stupid, yeah.
I would agree with you on. I think the Three Generals battle was pretty good. I liked
Three Generals, is that no? Which one is Three Generals?
That was when they had the roulette.
That was
Russian roulette.
That was the whole thing. Gotcha.
The only dumb part about roulette was I could see the cards shuffling because I boxed. Okay, motherfucker. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, that is a thing, right? That is
just watching shuffling in general is like also a thing. So
I guess it just felt fucking retarded to me.
Look, honestly, here's the thing that kills me about it, right? I was talking about the guys who just talk in masks, right? How much better would it be if you took out the people with the masks entirely and only had people find out things in real time, right? That'd be fucking kind of.
I don't know. Maybe.
Because maybe.
I think it would be paced better.
Well, because like
I still don't think plans would be better.
Well, no, the plans wouldn't be better. They'd be still fucking stupid. But
I definitely agree. I agree it would be paced better. Yeah.
Like I'm watching this and I hate it every time that more than half of the fucking manga is dedicated to these motherfuckers in masks. Tell me how cool these motherfuckers are.
And then they try to give the people in the masks who you can't tell apart and have fucking retarded names characters. And they try to give them character development.
The only one I know is the girl.
Yeah, and then one of them is also
she wasn't
Yokoya's
wearing
dad.
This weird fucking Joker mask, like. And then at the end, they try to pull this bullshit. The people with the masks were the people who played the games for the movie. Shut the fuck up.
And you were Yokoya's daddy. You were guiding him. You wanted him to experience a failure. What?
But anyway, I had more to talk about the ending because like the biggest difference between Liar Game and Kaiji, I mentioned this to you on stream, Vindy, or was it after stream? I don't know.
I think it was on stream.
Yeah, where basically like the point of Liar Game is like it's okay. Well, the point of Kaiji is like it's to say like we live in a society and the only way we can break the rules of it, or like the only way Kaiji, because the game is rigged. And that's the regular point of Kaiji. Like, again, I mentioned the line Hyodo has where it's like, it doesn't have to be fair, it just has to look fair. Where it's like, and so Kaiji goes like, and like you were, I think at the time you said that like you like the twists better in Kaiji because you hadn't fully read Liar Game yet. And like, which, not that it's not true now, but now that was just what you were saying at the time.
Right, and nothing's changed, but yeah.
And like, well, yeah, but like, because if Liar Game was more like Kaiji, then that would also betray what it's going for, because like the point of it is to try and say like, we live in a society and here's how to properly live in it. Except I think that's really fucking stupid, because like he's basically saying like we should live like communists in a capitalist society. That's what he's fucking saying, the author.
Communism?
Like, and it's so like that's like also like I hate the ending because it's like tell don't show. It's literally like saying like, look, Liar Game, this manga is so woke that fictional governments would want it canceled because
it made me so mad because I was like,
see, and it's
if that was true, why is it still being published?
Right. Well, and it's also so dumb. Well, and because that's what happened at the end. Like, oh, we'll release it to the world, but we live in a society, so the Liar Game footage never got out. We need to live. You, author, reader, needs to. I hate being talked down to or talked at like that. Fuck you. Like, well, that's the thing is because it's too cowardly to say that because like. It critiques communism, like it mentions, like, there's the picture of the tank man, like it's saying, like, communism's bad. It critiques Hitler, like, Yokoya, he fails, even though he's, like, a #1 Hitler fanboy, which I mentioned before, I just think Yokoya is fucking funny, like I mentioned it in the Weeb Club chat, where it's like, Yokoya is like, you know who's cool, and then, like, no one ever ever says anything, and then Yoko's like, Hitler.
Someone post a picture of him reading Mein Kampf. That was the
Dude,
no,
it's so funny.
Here's the one I have.
do it.
It's so funny.
I was saving to post this until I talked about how comically terrible Yokia is.
He's funny. I
funny.
guess that's what
He's
I love
funny,
about him. Yeah.
But he is a garbage villain.
No, well,
I like it
I'll
better
talk.
than
Well,
the fucking old man who we find out the most retarded twist of all time. That it's not.
I mean, I cared more about watching Yokia, who's just like pure. Like Yokia would be great if Liar Game was like a lot. Like I know there is a live action, but like Yokia could be like I could see Yokia being fucking the best part of a Liar Game movie if the actor is like one of those actors who's just having fun playing the villain.
Yeah,
right?
like I really want to see
that's
Yokia
like
kill Vindy again. God, I can't. I can't wait to see him kill.
he
Vinny
killed all
again.
those rats.
Fuck you.
But I also like the you get this in, if you ever finish Danganronpa, it'll happen there too, but I like when the smug smart asshole gets fucking wrecked, and like it's so satisfying. So yeah. But anyway, back to the ending. It's like, yeah, basically the author, he's actually, like, if you, like, okay, I don't like the idea of, like, people, I'm gonna live like Liar Game because manga told me to, so actually don't read it when you're a teenager, because that's when you're most susceptible to being a fucking dipshit like that.
No, because
and
they'll
actually,
think
like,
that,
listening.
and then they'll grow up a little bit, and they'll decide, I'm gonna reread it.
Unless
then
they
they'll
live in
realize how
Canada and they
fucking
watch some Star
stupid young
Wars.
them are.
Right, because, like, instead of just saying, like, we should just be in a communist, because that's what I think is really stupid, because Fukumoto, like, he's saying, like, you know, you have to go outside the system because it's fucking rigged, where Kaitani is too much of a coward to admit that, so he's saying, like, you should live like these characters in this capitalist society because communism and fascism are worse. But then he's like, if you actually lived like that, like, they're betrayed regularly. They constantly suffer. They, like, the only get a psychology major so you can live in a capitalist society through communist means. Like, it's fucking stupid is what I'm saying. Like
I think it goes like even deeper than that, where like, fuck. Look, okay, so like, Kaiji's great because like the reason that I love fucking.
There was one other thing
Kaiji
I remembered what I was gonna say, but go ahead, because
is that like it's more than just the society bullshit in Kaiji, right? There's this whole fucking arc between part 3 and 5 about friendship.
Yeah.
Right? And it's about, like, you know, kind of like with fucking, like, now, where, like, Kaiji's kind of naive and isn't really gaming the system. And then he learns to game the system and he gets better. But, like, now never, like, she gets better at the games because it decides she's going to. But there's never any, like, actual, like, she realizes that her ideals are wrong in some way because they're right. And, like, the worst part about that is that constantly, like, Yoko would be like, I know what this game's all about. It's about domination and conquest. And everyone in the mask who should know that now it's right is like, oh my god, how did Yokoya figure out what the game's about? And it's like, no, because then you later say that that's not what they're about. And the people in the mask just fucking know that.
Because they've played them before, yeah. I didn't think about that. That's a major fucking plot hole.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. No, because every time it's like, it's about trust. It's about domination. It's about love.
And the people in the masks always say that Yoki is right. And you get to the end and they're like, yeah, now's the only person who had fucking had it together.
She literally only wins because Akiyama's there. And they kind of address that halfway through.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm tired of only succeeding because of Akiyama. And she, like, does a thing, I guess. I don't remember because it was stupid. But then, like, they try, like, by the end of it, it literally is just that she succeeds because Akiyama's there. That's literally the only
worst
reason
part is about succeeding because of Akiyama, and this is I mentioned this to you on stream Craftsdwarf, and I do think it gets better because she has reasons for continuing to do. But the first time she enters the revival round is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life because she's like, I need to help Akiyama, bitch. You wouldn't be anywhere near where you are if it wasn't for him. You don't need to help him, and you know that. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Later when she gets the idea of wanting to save everyone, I get it. That's why you're participating.
Right,
But so
needing to take, like, taking part in the revival round, like, when it ends and she saves the one Mohawk guy, like, that's what gets her to that point. But yeah, her going there in the first place is like, is this the best you could think of, Mr. Author Man? Anyway, my other point about Lara Game is because, like, going back to the politics bullshit, is that, like, the series very much, like, is an entire critique of capitalism, But again, it's like with its games, like that's the fucking point. But again, at the end of it, like the point it fucking misses where like Kaitani's actually like a small brain is that like the reason people act like this is because the system allows for it and like rewards this behavior. Like people like Yokuya, who's already a rich bitch because of the way him and his dad have acted. Like his dad wasn't like both of them became rich in the society because the society rewards that kind of behavior. Yet like it's trying to argue like it critiques this behavior, but then doesn't recognize that the ideals that it's saying we should have are like communist, and it's not saying like, okay, just live in a communist society. Like it's not like, again, it doesn't have the courage for that. It's instead playing put yourself at risk in a society that does not reward these ideals. Like after critiquing are you fucking you stupid ass motherfucker? Do you not know you don't know anything? You don't know anything. You're stupid.
So, as part of the ending, I really quickly, I don't want to talk about, like, the last chapter. I specifically want to talk about this page, which I hope you put up on screen. It is the last fucking page of the manga.
I hate it.
Really quickly, this page...
We live in a society!
So, I don't know if either of y'all have played the original Resident Evil 2. I might get this wrong. Okay, I might get this wrong. And you know what? I'm going to send you all the clip really quickly. And if you could play the clip, like, just the very end of this. But I do think y'all should watch it. Well, I'm going to timestamp it. So it's specifically the very end of it, but...
Go where?
Hey, it's up to us to take out Umbrella.
So I'll explain it if what's not going to put just, like, the 5-second clip. If what's not going to put the 5-second clip on the screen.
Us to take down Umbrella.
So
Okay,
basically, at the end of the game, you know, it's Claire, Sherry, and Leon. And Claire asks, like, what's next? Leon turns around and goes, it's up to us to take out Umbrella. And then rock music plays and the credits play, right? And it's fucking, it's a hilarious ending. The difference is Resident Evil has Code Veronica, which is about what he says there, right? But like
Liar Game is just ends and it's been over for literally years now.
When I read the ending, the first thing it made me think of is this fucking ending. It's us to us, because it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Because he goes, "It's up to us to take out Umbrella." It's so fucking funny. And that's what fucking Liar Game is.
And
that's the last page.
It's so, because like this is where the cowardice sets in, because he's pointing to the audience and saying, yeah, they may live in a society, but you can live in a better society by living like, now we can make the real world better than Liar Game. But like he's stupid and doesn't understand he doesn't understand. He tried to make a society manga, but doesn't actually understand society. I just figured it out.
The entire time,
holy shit,
the manga is constantly complaining about fucking like the
capitalism
entire time the manga
sucks,
saying
but
what now
communism
doing
and
isn't correct.
And then it's like, no, they were right. She was right the whole time. Yeah, that's what it's so stupid. It's so stupid. I don't like. See, this is where it's like, you know, like this. All this the series is doing is to like feed into this, but the idea is just so stupid that it's like, oh my god, like why do I have the manga at a higher? Like I still like the going to this point enough that I do, like my opinion isn't like negatively shifted, even though I'm like actually I don't think I've ever been this like frustrated about something I like so much. And like what the fuck?
Oh my fucking god!
What did he just tweet this?
No. So I'm gonna read this tweet really quickly because I want to read this tweet and I want to explain why he's stupid. And then, I think we should go through all the games in order. But I used to think Kaiji was just mediocre due to the fact that its mind games didn't really involve mental keikaku. See Liar Game. The reason that Kaiji's plans don't involve the reason that Kaiji doesn't involve these insane mental plans is because the manga is about constantly taking these risks. And, like, Fukumoto has this fucking theme in all of his goddamn manga that's about fucking, like, taking the risk, right? There's constantly a moment where characters are like trying to play it safe and trying not to do it, right? But you always win when you take that risk, right? When you make that gamble. Kurosawa, the entire fucking manga is about this. It's about, you know, go for it, right? Don't just sit back because of what might happen. Go for it and see what does happen. And so that's why with Kaiji, he'll fucking go for something and it'll fucking fail. Because sometimes in life you fail, but with persistence and tenacity, you can fucking do it. And that's why there's this one thing in Liar Game that they really should have. he was so close, because there's this line in the last game where they talk about fucking Akiyama, and one of the fucking shitty mask people says, like, he's really tenacious, but the problem is he's not fucking tenacious because he fucking expected everything from the beginning. But if he was an actual tenacious character who tried plans and they failed, and he tried again and it failed, and he tried again, if he actually had tenacity, it would have been better. But instead, it's all fucking planned from the fucking start, and he's just on fucking 800th dimensional chess.
He never needs to take a risk if he's already ahead of the game.
I hate that tweet so much.
I hate a lot of his tweets.
That's so bad. It's just blatantly missing the fucking point.
See, it's funny because Mr. Cynical likes Liar Game because he's stupid. I like Liar Game because I liked it in high school when I was stupid. So I have a degree of separation. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Want to talk about the actual games, or are we done shitting on the really, really bad ending where he seems woke but he isn't, and tries to tell the audience how to live their lives when he's too stupid?
I think we can talk about the games now.
Okay.
Do you want to go start from the very beginning with the 100 million yen?
That one was fine. I think.
I actually liked the ending of that one. I thought it made sense, and it felt like it was a plan that was plausible for someone to figure it out.
Yeah. And when I read the first volume in high school, it blew my fucking mind because all I knew was maybe a bit of Death Note and Yu-Gi-Oh. So
I remember first reading this entire. Here's my thing. When I first read this manga, I think I was like 16 or 17. And keep in mind,
okay, so a little older than I was. Gotcha. Go on.
My favorite anime at the time were like Madoka Magica, Bleach, like
My Little Pony.
No, actually, wait.
That was a little later.
Hold on, actually. I think I might have been off of like the bro, because I was a brony in freshman year of high school. But no, I wasn't. I'm kidding. But anyway, but anyway, like I was saying, I remember reading this, and this is me back when I thought Sword Art Online was like a 7 out. The first season was like a 7 out of 10, well, actually, wait, fuck, I do actually think so. God damn it, nothing's changed. But anyway, no, but like basically, this is back when I thought shit like Code
Geass and Anohana were good.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Back when I thought that shit was fire, man. I'm reading this, and I'm thinking, yeah, that's kind of smart. It's kind of cool. Yeah. You know? So, like, because the thing is, like, every single game has these long-ass explanations, and they only make sense if you want to figure out how the characters are finding loopholes. And, like, it's literally an entire chapter of just rules.
Well, I don't think you can figure, like, you could probably figure it out, but, like, my problem with it is, like, I legitimately believe the games were created backwards, right? Like,
they 100% probably were.
And, like, the problem with that is that, like, it just, like, I know sometimes Craftsdwarf, you complain about the way people use this word because technically everything in media is this, but they're so contrived.
Well, okay, I'm gonna speak as someone who has literally made one of these games and wrote a fanfic, like, with the characters playing, with these characters playing this game and some characters from the thing. I didn't, like, how I created the game, and then, like, how I did the hands backwards. Like, every hand of cards, I would, like, have in mind, like, who wins and how, and I'd sort of retroactively have to get to that point. And so... And I don't know how I could have tried, like, done it with actual randomness, where, like, and not have the game be a, like, meandering mess, basically. That's this one game I came up, not the entire manga.
But again, like, that's different because that's the hands are backwards.
I just figured out.
What I mean is, like, with the Contraband game, I think he starts from the very ending and works his way backwards.
No, he literally made the rules based on how he wants the characters to arrive to that point. That's what you mean.
That's what I mean.
And then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, holy shit, you're right. Holy shit, you're fucking right. That's why the rules are stupid. Because I'm looking at them, I'm like, he's just listing all these things. Here's the thing. When I think about things like this, I think of, like, the Hunter x Hunter, like, when he's on, like, Greed Island, right? And I remember even then reading the rules, and I was kind of like, I don't need to read most of this. I could basically figure this out from, like, whatever. But the rules, at least then, like, make sense.
Well, because, that's the thing. It's like with Greed Island specifically, is like it's very much designed like that it works as a game and it also works as a story because Togashi's a fucking madman. Where with like Yeah, with Larry Game, they don't like some of the games definitely don't really work
He made
as
the
games.
rules
Like,
for the sake
I'm
of
very
the end of the
curious.
game.
There is apparently a live action series, like
drama
reality
for it, yeah.
show. No. There's a reality show. I forget what it's called. It's like The Genius or The Master, something like that, where it actually puts people in Liar Game type kaiji type games, like actual people, like maybe probably actors, celebrities, and stuff, but like. Apparently, they were like criticized for plagiarizing, like because there's a game that's an awful lot like the Pandemic game from Liar Game. This exists. I'm kind of curious about it because like I want to see how do actual people act in something like this,
Right.
you know?
Well,
Because like these are games constructed for these manga. So
My thing is like
I don't know. It's-
everybody acts like a blithering fucking idiot all the time, like for no reason. Everybody except Akiyama Yokoya and sometimes like Fukunaga, right? Like,
Oh my god, you're so fucking right. I was thinking about, like, the people in the last game are fucking stupid. And, like, when you get to the last game, everyone should be a fucking genius because they made it past all the other games.
it's I'm watching these. I'm like I'm thinking when I watch like the fucking chair game, right? There's no violence, right? You can't do violence. So grab 2 chairs and hold them the entire time. What are they gonna do? They can't do anything to you. I'm watching this.
You're right.
I'm like, this is baby shit. I don't even.
I think actually, to its credit, the reason you couldn't do
No,
that is
wait,
because
hold
people
on.
would immediately vote out those 2 chairs.
But then you can
That's
just grab
true.
another one.
If you can't, no, that was like a big thing with the solo players is that like they couldn't grab another one because like they're hidden, and if like there's a point where it's like there's so few chairs that like how are you gonna find one on this whole island in the limited time period? Like there's only like 10 minutes.
Again,
like,
it doesn't address that they have to keep it doesn't say that they have to keep them hidden because of the numbers. You have to figure it out yourself. And that's not to say that it should always say everything, because this manga does have a problem with fucking tell don't show, but it's that nobody ever considers that. Like you could tell that by literally like, if fucking retard now had been like, why don't we just hold on to our chairs the whole time? And then Akiyama had been like, because then they would have seen the fucking numbers, dipshit. Like, that's all you have to do.
Or just cover
but
the
they don't
numbers,
ever
bro.
think about that.
Yeah, and then like, well, another thing, I was gonna say is like, cause here's going back to like why this series is perfect to read if you are 14 years old, is like, there was one part earlier on when, they were talking about like Akiyama's backstory and how he had his mother who got caught in a multi-level marketing scheme, and I was like, oh shit, he connected to it now because it's like his mom, and then like the fucking lawyer says, oh, he probably connects to you because you're like,
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, okay, fuck you. Like,
Hold your fucking hand. And
this is
It's a seinen manga, everybody. Seinen is for adults.
That's exact. Yeah, that's kind of, especially at first was why it bugged me, because yeah, it's like I'm literally like, okay, I'm not 14 anymore. You can let me read the manga like a big boy, and it's like, no.
Man, it's not shonen, so I have to. It's not shonen, so I can actually put it on the tier that I want it to be, right? It's actually on the good tier.
Yeah. So anyway, keep talking about the games, because next was or no, did you have more to say?
I just wanted to mention the games in general. Talk about the way they're constructed backwards. Like the reason, like I really feel like he starts with the ending is because like, they're like none of them are real games, right? And to bring back the Fukumoto comparison, right? Like, I love when he does mahjong more than I think anything else. Even though like part 5, which is poker, is my favorite part. Like I think that like when I read Fukumoto talk about mahjong and write a mahjong manga, I get the sense in my head that he's liked mahjong for a long time and is constantly sitting around thinking up these ridiculous fucking scenarios for what if this wild shit happened to mahjong, and then he writes that into his manga, right? So
he spent like 20 years and 24 volumes on Washizu Mahjong, so
right.
it's like,
and,
yeah.
Like I also wanted to bring that up, like he does do variations on the games, right? Like there's Washizu Mahjong, there's
Minefield Mahjong.
Minefield Mahjong, there's One Poker, which are these variations of the games, but they still very much keep what makes the game intact, so that like the reason that these games have always lasted and people care about them is because they're well constructed and they're hard to get around.
You know what these games are, Vindy? You know
What?
how like how like Ruby has like weapons that are also guns?
Right.
This is what if game, but also this, right? It's like,
no, I figured it out. These games are fucking Mario. They're troll Mario Maker levels. It's when somebody makes a Mario Maker level and they make it into impossibly hard, and they put a little developer block in the top left that you can hit, and it just takes you right to the end. That's what these fucking games are. They're shitty Mario Maker levels.
Look, I would look. God damn, because when I look at how these games are played and I watch these dumbasses talk, right? I'm like, this would be so much smarter if people just did things to intentionally break the rules of the game. Like, you know how they did it at the end of the. Well, I'll get to that.
Yeah,
well, you should actually just read Kaiji sometime because I think you would really like it.
You really should. Yeah, because Kaiji is that,
There's
but
a lot
all the
of
time.
things I need to read. Like Act Age.
Or watch Kaiji first because the anime adaptation is great and it's never getting a season 3. So
read it because watching Fukumoto's art style change throughout the course of the manga is really fucking cool.
I'm gonna read Act Age because Kubo.
You should read Act Age because you would.
Well, I was gonna say do what you normally do, watch it and then read it because that way you get like the anime because you'll never be able to watch it after you read it and then you get the art style changing.
Okay, so
did
anyway.
you know I've never seen Kaiji?
Crafts.
Sad. It's I liked it as an adaptation. So I watched it first actually, so I should rewatch it before I say that. Anyway, game 2, Minority Rules. This was where I was like, okay, whatever. Because it's like Akiyama, he was with like I get the theme because it was kind of like building off the first game where it's like about appearances where the guy in the glasses seemed like untrustworthy. But he was actually an ally the whole time, and Fukunaga seemed like, oh, she's a girl, and that we're looking for a guy, so she must be trustworthy. But she wasn't.
My god, do we need to talk about Fukunaga really quickly?
No, we don't. We're gonna get canceled if you talk about Fukunaga.
He exists. I don't know. I don't even know.
First of all, I don't think Fukunaga is trans, considering.
Well, she said transvestite was what the translators used, and I don't know.
The translations that I read from early on. She said that she was okay with being called a guy, so I really don't know how to feel about it.
I don't know what the
Here's
what
all
the
I'll say
original
about
intent
it.
was.
Fukunaga, there are times where I forgot that it was a guy because, goddamn, she was hot sometimes, and then I'm like, wait, no, and it should have just been a cute girl, much like fucking A Gravity Boys. But that's all I'm gonna say about Fukunaga.
Yep, he exists. They exist. I don't know anymore.
Okay,
but yeah, then
let's keep going.
Next was the first revival round with the blank checks or the votes. And that one felt like because Nao went on her own and fucked everything up because she didn't know what she was doing, and then Akiyama came in to save. That was it was I don't know, it was fine. Again, you already expressed your issue with Now going there in the first place was stupid. Yeah. I mean, she is stupid, but I don't remember exactly how it went out. So,
but she knows the real point of the games.
My favorite part of the game is that she wasn't trying to save everyone. She specifically just saved the one good person. I thought that was cool. And then she's like, I'm going to save everyone. And it's like, I thought it was cool when she's like, yeah, I'm going to save you because you're legitimately a good person. Like, I like when the idea is like the liar game is like, before it was, I'm just going to save everyone and be the most altruistic person ever. When it was like, I'm going to go through this and try to save the people who are stuck in a shitty situation that they have no control over because they didn't know what they were getting themselves into. I liked when that's what it was.
I like the way that game ended because it was legitimately kind of fucking smart. How it was like you can they fucking bought out by the rules, right? Like you can pay for the rules. That was actually like a cool way to do that. I was like, nice.
And that felt like it wasn't Akiyama. You know why it was good?
Why?
It wasn't Akiyama playing 800th dimensional chess from the very beginning.
Right, which is a common thread with the revival rounds. Because next was the Contraband game, which is like, I love the character stuff at the end, but the actual game, like I said, I have not understood it in 10 years.
Like, I legit don't understand how it ended. Because, like, how did he bring all that cash to them? And then, I don't get it. Because they had that...
I kind of don't either, yeah. Like, and then something with...
It felt like there wasn't enough time for them to have done that before they were like, oh. Yeah, it was really dumb.
I pulled out a speaker and rubbed the card on the magnet.
How did
I can hear Vindy pulling out a speaker and rubbing
there was a staff member in there. How did they not? How did they hide that?
And they even noticed that the speaker was disabled. And I mean, it doesn't matter for the game.
It feels like it's constantly in this mix between they didn't see some stuff, but then this other really small ship they saw and were able to tell us all about.
But they got everything on video, bro. They're watching the screens.
I really think the Contraband game is the start of the hard decline of the series when things start getting really, really stupid.
I got bored like around that point, yeah.
See, like I just got baffled because I like the character stuff at the end because like you say like Akiyama's on third like but that was like his only like real failure because like they also had their battle of ideals where Yokoya is like, oh, the game's about this, and Akiyama's like, oh, we'll check out the Lyra game, but Yokoya points out that he had no intent of doing such thing, and then now fucking that's what when she fucking goes at Yokoya for yeah, but you didn't have complete dominance of the game. You didn't win, like, and I think that also fucks with me is like, the idea of winning is like losing but also making the most profit, which, like, I don't know, that whole, like, the exchange is really satisfying to me because I like seeing Yokoya get his shit kicked in because he's a smug, like, Hitler fanboy.
He's a laughably evil villain.
And that was funny and great, exactly, seeing him get wrecked.
Right, like, I don't take him seriously for a second. Because to go to the last game really quickly, his entire motivations are just wanting to see people suffer. Like, hello?
Where's your mustache, bro? You can't twirl without one.
He's got rats in his pocket.
It's like Palpatine. Where you
it's
like
also funny that
because he's just having fun being evil. That's Yokoya.
Like, it's also funny, like, there are panels where he's, like, holding rats and he's pissed off and the rat is, like, fucking terrified. And because it's, like, I don't know.
I'm going to
he's
die.
just... Right, I don't know why Yokoya, he's just funny to me. The whole, like, it's hilarious and I love it. Like, I'm reading Mein Kampf, man, Hitler sure had a decline, just like this manga. So, okay, what was after Contraband Game? Was that the Generals battle?
No.
What?
Or...
Wait.
Or...
Did they do Generals? No, they did Generals battle to get to...
That was a rival round to get to the 4th round of musical chairs, right? And then between those two was Pandemic Game to get into musical chairs.
Did they do?
Because that was like
no,
that was preliminary.
Because they did Pandemic to get to musical chairs, but
that was a preliminary, and I thought Three Generals was a revival round.
You're right.
After they lost the third game,
because I forgot that Pandemic was a.
It was I kept saying it was revival round 2, even though I knew it wasn't the main game. Well, that's what I meant because it wasn't like the big climactic game.
But I forgot that there was a revival to get into the. I think Third Generals was okay. I think it had some dumb fucking shit, but I think like Akiyama, the way he won was so like I don't know. I kind of like it because it is like that's the only game in the entire Lyra game that has randomness to it, and he wins by making it unrandom basically. And in like it's an over the top way because it's Akiyama and he was struggling there for a bit. Like he had to come up with his plan like actually during the game. And I think it wasn't as bad.
Stupid. It wasn't completely
like
stupid.
yeah, I mean, it's still like you have to accept like Akiyama can literally just like imagine how the deck would be with these shuffles.
Here's a problem I just realized about that really quickly. So these masked people aren't like professional dealers or anything. So how does a plan based around having a literal perfect shuffle end up working?
They literally talk about that because he says like even
did stuff.
Well, the dealer was actually, that specific dealer was actually good with the shuffles, and like he specifically had him, he had him do the easier shuffle, and specifically said like, I could probably pull that off like fairly consistently, even because it's only 17, it was only a 17 card deck, that was the thing. So a 52 card deck and a perfect one would be basically impossible, but it was 70 card poker, it was a good dealer. And and he changed the type of shuffle because he was like, oh yeah, you must be cheating, so let's change it. Like that was the boxer guy thought like, oh you that one's even easier to follow, haha,
yeah, that's fair.
So it was fine. And the last one was just like, oh, now was Fukunaga like trusted now, and it's okay.
Well,
sure,
that was like I liked the growing like camaraderie between the three of them, and I still don't understand why. Like, they just made Fukunaga lose. Like, I think it would have been more... Because, like, that was my favorite part of it going through.
Why did they kick Fukunaga out of the last game? What the fuck was that?
Like, my favorite part of it going throughout is the, like, teamwork and the fact that Fukunaga's slowly coming over to Nao's side and, like, this teamwork between...
It kind of gets dropped after the musical chairs, yeah.
Akiyama. And I think that, like, at the end, it would have been way cooler to see Fukunaga, Akiyama, and Nao against Yokoya. Right?
Yeah.
And like an actual battle, as opposed to whatever the fucking dumb bullshit they did was.
But that would mean the manga was good, Vindy.
Anyway, next up is Pandemic Game, which, like I said before, it's probably my favorite because, like, again, no Akiyama 3D chess bullshit. Like, he's doing the kaiji, like, he starts off with the dangly wire thing. Like, we go back to, I talked about with you, Vindy, about this one in Sangatsu, where you have, like, Akari and Kyoko who are both manipulative towards Rei, but, you know, manipulation is not inherently bad. It's just a tool. But with Liar Game, like they'd say it's about trust. I would go even further and say the game is it's literally about making connections. And that's de-incentivized in the Liar Game because like all the characters they've been betrayed, they've been double-crossed so many times that they're afraid to even trust someone as pure and honest as now. So yeah, they see Akiyama being manipulative. They're trying to save them, but like they run away. Like, oh, we got 4 vaccines, we're fucking off. And that was also, I cried a bit in the Makizono's backstory because, like, it ties into the game because he sees himself as infected. He doesn't want to interact with anyone, but there was the fucking bro-ass cancer kid who saved his life, and I got tears in my eyes reading that.
The way they actually resolved that game is actually really fucking cool.
I like the
doors.
They block the doors. That makes sense. That's something
that's the kind of thing, yes.
The rule that allows that to happen is a reasonable rule that fits within the idea of the fucking game.
Yeah, and the trick was so simple. Like, they just lied about who was behind which door, and like, oh, thanks for the text, Yokiya. He's fucking like, I love the smug asshole getting his shit fucked in. So it's good. It was definitely my favorite like game in the manga. You know, simple game, simple tricks. Good character stuff. Like, it's all the manga needed to be. And if the manga was all that, I would probably have it at like a 9, you know? And you guys would probably not hate it.
God, you know what it is? Back when some guy named Elitist Weeb Basher, I don't know who he is, he knew some people on a site called iFunny. I don't know what it is. But this one guy who he used to talk to all the time really liked Liar Game. It was convinced that it was one of the best manga he'd ever read in his life. And I read it. That's the only reason I read it.
Probably
I was
read
like,
3 manga.
Huh. And I was like, this is great.
I also liked it when I only read 3 manga.
And I was like, I remember he got so mad at me for saying that like the ending sucked. And he's like, no, it's really good though. So the ending doesn't. I'm like, okay, but. And this was when I was convinced that the ending was the result of like the manga, the manga ending early. But now I read it again. I'm like, this shit's intentional, and I hate it more.
It would be like. It would have been fixed if the author just did a sequel manga where everyone teams up to take down society and he stops being a fucking coward and says, yeah, let's live in a communist society. Like, I'm not even saying like...
And they start taking down society from the inside.
Dude, like, look, I'm not, like...
So you mean Akumetsu? A good manga?
Yes. Well, I will say, like, you know, my political beliefs, I have them, they don't really lean... in any like I have issues with both communism and capitalism, so I'm like some of my points for Liar Game are like me suspending myself from it. Like, I think the execution of the ending is really stupid no matter which way you slice it, and dumb in a lot of ways. Even though, like, in regards to verisimilitude, like I pointed out, like, yeah, Akiyama and the writer of the original Liar Game books are just psychology just makes you God in this world. It's fucking stupid, but it fits the verisimilitude, you know? Like, it's stupid on purpose, which is, excuse me, but also, like, whatever. Anyway,
You're literally
so
making...
Anyway.
Yeah,
I am. Well, I'm not, like, I'm saying I don't like it, but I'm also saying, like, I'm not sure if I would call it, like, it, I don't know, it's
conflicts.
I
think the biggest issue with this and the Star Wars prequels is that they are poorly executed. Even if the ideas behind it are good, it doesn't matter if it's poorly executed.
Maybe you're just looking at the finger when they're actually pointing at the moon, you fucking idiot.
Kaitani's pointing at the moon! Anyway, musical chairs, which is 100%,
musical chairs, which turns into fucking Red Rover.
No, okay.
2 playground fucking games.
Doesn't get smart until they use the extras to block Yokuya in, or whoever in, so he can't get to the chair.
It was
turns,
Yokuya.
You mean when it turns into Red Rover?
When it turns into an actual good game, yeah.
Yeah, they literally go from musical chairs to Red Rover. 2 goddamn playground fucking games.
Look, it's like...
And it also has this, the second part in the manga that got me teary-eyed was Abe's backstory, and like, oh, no one in this world is without value, and then... Okay, yeah, that got to me a little bit
When
too.
they said
Sorry.
Harimoto was smarter than Yokoya and Akiyama combined, I was like, that is such bullshit, and you were lying to me. I could tell.
Well, I don't. Maybe that's how they worded it, but it definitely meant like you can go back to the translation.
Empathy thing, yeah.
Yes,
that's what
but
makes
of course,
him-
like it's like because his whole like religion thing factored into like the nations thing because like demons and stuff that's like more of a Christian thing. So he's like comes up with like a foreign ideology that he also doesn't even really follow. Like as we find out when he bows out of the game
He was
because
getting his shit kicked in by Yokoya in the game. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's
Right.
smarter than them. He was getting his shit kicked in.
he
right.
lost first. Yeah, I think it's musical chairs is fucking garbage. Yeah, I think it's the epitome of the, because at least with Liar Game, it kind of tells us what they think their plans are. Or the last game, it tells us what they think his plan is as it progresses, and then it does tell us what his plan is before it happens. But with musical chairs, it's something happens, and then it spends 2 chapters explaining to us from people in masks how it happened. And that's the entirety of like what is it? It's like a 40-50 chapter game.
It's like the longest game, isn't it?
I
It
think
is
musical chairs is the
easily
longest.
game, but it might even be close to 60 chapters. But that's the entirety of the game.
It's fucking stupid, and I hate it.
Then was a human auction.
Was it?
No,
and
there was
the,
something.
or
Something
the,
in between there.
or wait,
There was another revival round.
Yeah, there was another
because they
revival
lost.
round. It was fucking.
It was bid poker, which is also garbage.
Yeah, where
Oh, that's right,
Fukunaga
yeah.
loses because fuck all of us, right?
Yeah, well, Fukunaga loses, and also the entire plan of we made a whole team behind your back. Like, shut the fuck up.
yeah, because now is perfect, even though her idea. Yeah, no.
Yeah, everyone could trust now, even though all they were doing was listening to exactly what I said. It's like, shut up. That's not how it works. You fucking idiot. Then is the ladder game, which doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't. That was what I was thinking when I said here. I mixed them up. And then is the final game, which we've already talked about a bit. It's stupid.
Yeah, we talked about people auction. I don't know how y'all feel, but I thought it was cool, and like I thought it should have ended with Akiyama fucking it all up and causing it to now. Because I even liked he had a line where he's like, "I'd be super happy if now the most honest person in this game won."
Yeah, and there was also the part where he's talking about like taking on all the debts of Liar Game and like collapsing them, which I guess was what happened in a sense, kind of, but like not directly.
No.
Well, like the idea was like he crushed Liar Game by making a game unsustainable to them so that they can't finish. So
Well, can I go back real quick? We skipped over something.
Yeah.
Go.
We skipped over something I wanted to talk about during the fucking bid poker thing that made me so fucking angry. When they fucking made it so that Harimoto wasn't the one in control, it was bitch with glasses. Yeah. I was like, what?
No, it was not bitch with glasses. It was black hair.
Yeah.
She was all
Dark
okay,
hair.
whatever. I was like, what are you talking about? What alluded to this? What?
That's 100% true. Yeah.
What are you talking
I can't
about?
think of anything.
What do you mean she was in charge the whole time? That's so. What? Oh, makes me mad.
I mean, does fucking Liar Game have any illusion or not illusion, foreshadowing?
Yes, all the time, like society. And now, being the birth person, it made me angry. It made me so mad. I was, because that's when it really pulled the fucking Keikaku shit. Because then it was like layers of Keikaku.
Does this make you happy or what? Does this make you happier?
Oh my god, I'm gonna look at this fucking image and get real mad. Am I gonna look at this image and get real mad, Vindy?
No, you're gonna be real happy.
That makes me a lot happier. Yeah, I'm really happy now.
Yeah.
Okay, now Photoshop Yoku's face onto it.
I'm not gonna post this on YouTube, but for people who are listening to this right now, what Vindy has just sent me is a
wacky.
The ghosty furry
not
porn.
that. It was a picture of Yohane from Love Live Sunshine, and she's wearing
a blue frilly bikini.
Oh yes, and she's showing
and
her
the most
arm.
detailed part of the picture is her armpit.
Very nice. I'm now happy now. Everything. I'm no longer angry. I'm very happy right now.
But I think we're about done, right? I don't think we have anything more to, because we already went over the ending.
Is this the longest episode of the Weeb Club so far?
It is by
We're like
a
an
fair
hour
amount.
and a half almost.
I'm so angry.
Yeah,
But I'm happy now because I got a nice little treat. Got a nice little pick me up. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really. I think I got through. I mean, I think again one of my biggest issues. I kind of just mentioned it slightly, but like I really didn't give a shit about Now or Akiyama, and so I just didn't care when they won or lost. Like, and I get that that's like more of a personal thing, but just for me, like I just did not care about these characters.
I will never fault someone for not caring as someone who has engaged with media that I don't care about. Like, even if I care about that media that they don't care about. So, yeah, sure. How dare you have an opinion, Vindy? I'm kicking you out of the podcast.
As we all know, we do not tolerate opposing opinions because we are single-minded people who hate the merits of popular media.
Well, yeah, I mean, you only have yes.
Wait, I was gonna say that. Okay, I think we're done. Final thoughts, everybody. We kind of already gave our ratings. I still have it as an 8.
I was wondering
it's
if
really
anyone's changed as we
it's
went.
really stupid. But I liked it when I was a teenager, and that's all that matters, isn't it? I don't know. It had themes.
See, I feel that because I wish I could go back to the like the teenage innocence I had when I was watching anime, and it was so new and fresh to me and cool. And now I'm getting jaded, and it's sad.
You're becoming a boomer, and I'm the zoomer this time. What a twist!
I never get jaded because every time I have so many things to watch, so many things to enjoy, like more Love Live. Yes.
So who's next? What are your ratings, motherfuckers? I gave mine.
Do I go next, and what goes last?
Yes, you.
It's been a month since we recorded, since somebody couldn't fucking record ever.
Whatever, man.
I gave it a 3 out of 10. I really, really, really fucking don't like it. I think it's really stupid. I think it's the Rikafag manga where it thinks it's smarter than it is, and it tries really hard.
And it's really appropriate that he likes it.
It tries really hard to be smarter than it is, but when you actually stop and think about it, like when I finished it, or when I first was like at Contraband, I was like, it's a 7. Then I was talking to someone about it, decided it's a 5. Finished, I was like, yeah, it's probably a 5. And the more I think about it, just like the lower my score drops. Because the more you think about it, I feel like the more it breaks. So it's a 3 for me because like I just can't, like I just don't like it at all.
Yeah. And what?
4.
This might be the biggest disparity we've had in scores, actually. More so than Tatami Galaxy.
Yeah. And it's not it's not the most we've argued since it's not a Sobi. That's what surprises me is I thought we'd be arguing it more. But you're
weird, yeah.
You're tired of it's stupid, but I like it.
Basically, because like I said, I liked it when I was like in high school, so and I still kind of like it, even though it's stupid.
Fair. It's just funny because I expected us to come in and me and Wood are shitting on it, and you're trying to argue it, and you're arguing with us defending it, but like you like to defend it, or you're like, yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, what am I supposed to say? It's fucking stupid.
What you're supposed to say is, audience. Again, I'm gonna put the link in the description. Which volume are you gonna pick? You're gonna pick volume 1, volume 2, volume 3?
I'm just gonna ban him from the entire server.
I'm a volume 3 man myself.
I'm volume 2 man myself, boys. Actually, wait, hold on.
Well,
there's like a weird.
Volume 4 is also really good, but
yeah.
I'm also not gonna say I'd fuck a high schooler, so volume 3 it is.
I'm a school idol, boys. I'm a Japanese school idol. This is my voice actor.
All right, is that it for the episode?
I really fucking hate you both. Thank you.
Next time we are going to read Ichigo 100%. Speaking of fucking high schoolers, and I'm not happy. I'm not excited about the one, but I want to finally finish it and get an excuse to finish it because I've stopped reading it for a full 5 months because it's just it's soul draining. But we'll get through it, boys.
Yahoo! All right.
Now make sure you guys subscribe.
Adios. Subscribe to What the What.
Yes, please do that.